sports. Today's game features arguably the best defense in the NFL. The Cardinals are top 10 in fewest points allowed, and they'll be up against the Seahawks offense that wants to prove it can do some damage. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are about 15 miles west of downtown Phoenix at University of Phoenix Stadium here in Glendale. A moment ago, this Arizona crowd was on its feet. The defensive starters, led by perennial All-Pro Patrick Peterson, were introduced. And they've got a tough one on their hands as they'll square off with the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Cardinal team as they get ready here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they're halfway home, looking good at a perfect 8-0.
And not much to complain about so far, is there? I'd have to say they're the best team in the NFL through the first half of the year.
On the return, the All-Pro 2 years ago, Tyler Lockett. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And a look here at their go-to guy under center. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And his first look is incomplete. Our chance to show you the offense here, Tyler Lockett. Charles, your thoughts?
Loved him coming out of Kansas State. The third Lockett that played there after his father and his uncle. An absolute true threat every time he touches the ball to take it to the house.
And on 2nd and 10 now. He'll drop to throw. Going for the deep ball. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. They'll drop to throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Jermaine Kearse with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first quarter lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score it.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Blair Walsh on to attempt the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. In his 15th year now from USC, Carson Palmer will be the man under center.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. Carry now. This is Johnson. And, he is really laid out that time. Knocked flat on his back at the 16. So add that tackle for a loss to the 2 that he had a week ago.
And you know what he's doing right now?
Smiling?
Yeah, definitely doing that. But he's also patting his guys on the back, his defensive front, because they're keeping him clean, meaning no one's getting to him as a blocker. He's able to run to the football, and the plays he's making, he's spilling them in the offensive backfield.
Second down, offense behind the sticks here. 2nd and 13. Again, it's Johnson. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. And let's look now at the offensive starters for the Cardinals.
David Johnson's play has forced us to talk about him as one of the premier running backs in the NFL. Good size, so he can run inside and break through some tackles. Also has excellent speed, so he can get to the perimeter, turn the corner, and make it into a big gain. But he also relies on the fact that he was a college wide receiver at one point, and they can utilize him both out of the backfield and in the slot back position in order to get downfield and catch the ball.
Palmer's hit, fumble. He loses the football, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And a 1st and goal coming up here inside the 10-yard line.
Well, that's a down and distance coaches always talking about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him. Sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
A good run, 8 yards there, and it'll be 2nd and goal. That's what they wanted out of that 1st down play. Run it down there. Now they're knocking on the door.
The only thing that would have been better was getting it in, and now they can do whatever they want because they've got confidence on their side. Line up quickly and go, or savor it a little bit, but I run right back at them.
This will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time.
And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Thomas Rawls, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating what we have to make the call. They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
And it's good to make it 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script, I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
If you're the coaching staff upstairs, you might want to file that play away. Did you see how fast the safety closed on that one? Coming up in run support, made a big-time tackle. Might want to try and check into a pass next time.
Yeah, got him for a loss. Really, really great play defensively. And he's able to get up here to the 26. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys that have a little extra pep in their step, you go to them early and often. And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. And a look at Seattle's defense.
Bobby Wagner's one of the more fluid middle linebackers in the NFL, able to range deep in coverage, also able to rush the quarterback both inside and off the edge, and is an absolute tackling machine in the running game.
Second down now after the incompletion. Off the play fake to Johnson. Palmer. And that'll be incomplete. The tight end, Jermaine Gresham, the intended receiver. And it's third down. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
On third down, Palmer. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. The first down carry here for Johnson. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy's disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
Second down, Johnson. No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
Look, I've got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender, and he ended up making the play there.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. 14-0 is our score. Back to Glendale after this timeout.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Cardinals in possession of the football. They do, however, have a tough third and long coming up. From midfield now, here's Palmer. And he can't get away from the pressure. Palmer sacked. K.J. Wright in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, You're really almost discrediting their work.
So on 4th down, here's Jake Shum to punt it away. Back deep for the Seahawks, the All-Pro returner from 2015, Tyler Lockett. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Open now to get back in the end zone on this 4th possession. Begins with a run by Rawls. And nice yardage right off the bat here as he's up to about the 24-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have.
All right, here we go.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
He's going to rifle one deep left side, and he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, 3rd down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
They'll look to throw. Airing one deep for Curse. He's got it at the 15. And he takes it down deep into Arizona territory. It's a big play on 3rd down for the Seahawks. 49 yards.
Let's go.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control. And how about the end result? A touchdown.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So out now come the Cardinals. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Now Palmer. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Mike Bennett in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. He was superb a week ago. 3 sacks in that affair. Now 1 here in the second quarter.
Well, how about our conversations this week? With him, it was pretty simple. He said, I've got a few combinations I can trot out they haven't seen yet. And on the flip side, they thought they had a plan to block him. Might need to come up with something else because he looks like he's getting loose now.
Punch, counter punch. On second down, here's Palmer. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. The Cardinals on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Out of the gun, Palmer. And this is going to be incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Here's Jacob Shum now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now it's Lockett. 12 yards on the return that time, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on 2nd down.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. Get a nice lead, you should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
The grab made by Curse over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. He got 29 yards that time. Two minutes to go here in the first half. More from the desert after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a fairly solid idea about which team will be featured prominently in those highlights.
Might be a little biased. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. His throw caught right around the 6. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good pickup there, a 22. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So you got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. Second down.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
Looking to throw. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Jimmy Graham, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. What a great weapon. So often, such a big mismatch.
And there's no route he can't run. You name it, he's going to do it. And he's a matchup nightmare for the defense. No matter who they put on him, he's going to win the battle.
Walsh now for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. A look at Carson Palmer now as we focus in on our player spotlight. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if the pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Mike Morgan in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Second down, Palmer. Looking sideline, incomplete. He was trying to find Ardarius Stewart, and that'll make it third down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
The Cardinals on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and a mile. Palmer gives to Johnson, and he'll go down after losing yardage at the 10. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Returnable for Lockett. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front. As we send you on to Orlando, we hook back up with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Cardinals don't have much to hang their hat on after the first half. The Seahawks took control of the game, and unless something drastic changes, it seems like they might be able to coast the victory. So let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. Third down from the 28. Curse has got nobody around him on the deep pass. And he caps off the 2-play drive with the score. Seahawks land the first punch. Offense out now after the fumble. Rawls is going to stay up the middle. And this 2-play drive goes for a TD. The lead now at 14. Now midway through the second. Here the catch is made way downfield. And he ends up at the 14-yard line before he stopped on the play. Sticking with the same drive. Baldwin's got the reception, and a quick 2-minute drive leads to a score as they go up here at 21-0. Seahawks now late in the second. Graham's the target here, and it ends up working for a touchdown.
All right, Larry, indeed a one-sided affair to this point as we get set for half 2. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And they start the second half with Johnson. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Double tight, guys, double tight.
Another part of this Cardinal rotation. This is Chris Johnson. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side.
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Cliff Averill in there to get him. And that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
And here is the punter, Shum, as he sends this one away. And it's fielded at the 34. Very good return that time. 18 yards. The Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's...
And this is caught. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his 4th touchdown on the year. And this Seahawks offense continues to pour it on.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Extra point try now for Walsh. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Tight end to the right, boys. Tight end to the right. Move. Let go.
They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Watch left, watch left. Tight end to the left, tight end left. Let go. Right, 90.
Palmer gives to Johnson on the draw. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. They'll get 4 on 2nd down, but it leaves them with 3rd and still 9 to go.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. To throw on 3rd down. Palmer over the middle here to Brown. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Palmer to Brown, and the Cardinals move the chains.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for them, too.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They go play action now. Palmer. He sets to fire deep. Looking for Fitzgerald, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Let's go.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. Chandler Jones in from his linebacker's spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Now, Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
All right, here we go.
3-19. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
And absolutely zero surprise that one was incomplete, huh? I mean, truthfully, how many OCs have we seen with 3rd and 20 on their play sheet and go, oh, I've got the exact play to dial up?
Now, that's just a head scratching down when you're facing a 3rd and 20. Tried to complete it, couldn't get it done. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
They're going to try and throw. They'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. Then the Cardinals will now take over with excellent field position. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the first. From the gun, it's Palmer. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. The Cardinals on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Palmer. And that is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And the 42-year-old veteran's kick is up and good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep. That's caught inside the 20. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And now a first down following that long gain. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. His throw caught right around the 6. And eventually brought down, but it's near the 5 at the 6. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. To throw again. Looking for Baldwin, intercepted. Picked off by Dayon Buchanan. And a short return to the 6-yard line. Well, this D, particularly the secondary, has been picked apart at points here tonight. They finally, though, get to the quarterback, get a pick.
And we know this about him. He loves night games, loves the spotlight, loves being the center of attention. I will bet you that he ran off the field almost chuckling to himself. They finally got one. They finally got me.
So after the interception, here's Palmer. And his throw here's incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. To throw again. Palmer. And that's off the mark. Incomplete. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all out if you don't catch the ball.
Been that kind of game throwing the football so far. Nothing going right offensively. Now Palmer. And this is going to be incomplete. I don't know. He had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus of the whole
that's
thing.
true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. Here's Jacob Shum now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Take it at the 37. Spinning again. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Fighting through, and he's got space. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Tyler Lockett with his second touchdown of the game and fifth on the year. And the Seahawks are running away with this one.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target, and it's 3rd and short.
They always say that real estate is about location. Well, guess what? When it's a slant route, the quick ones, timing. Got to be able to lead your man with the football.
And the timing off right there. Threw it behind him. Palmer now. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Michael Bennett in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Taken in at the 22. And yet again, an excellent return that time, 26 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone.
And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Walsh now for the PAT. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And our attention shifts here to the Seahawks defense. They were able to force the 3-and-out last time, led to the punt, and then led to a touchdown for their crew. So they'll be looking for a little bit more of that, Charles.
Well, I think that they created the spark with the 3-and-out. Gave a little momentum to their offense. Who said, all right, appreciate it, guys. And they took the ball downfield and stuck it in the end zone.
And that defense wasn't out there long. They'll be trying to keep it short here. On 1st and 10, it's Palmer. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Johnson the intended target, and it's 2nd down. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Second and 10. It's Palmer again. Screen play, Johnson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The Cardinals on 3rd down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. This is 3rd and 4. Operating from the gun. Palmer. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. K.J. Wright in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Let's go!
That one looks like he'll throw here. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
He'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
My high school coach John Ford used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
And this is caught inside the 5. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe they're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Extra point try now for Walsh. Throwing again here, Wilson. They've got this big lead. They said, forget one, we want two. Instead, they got 0.
Unbelievable that they didn't even attempt it from the 15-yard line. What are they thinking? I do know this. When you fake one in this situation with that type of a lead, especially from the 15-yard line, oh, boy. I tell you what, meeting them again somewhere down the line, they'll remember this. Yeah, they'll think that they were trying to clown them a little bit.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Jaron Brown, the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. 2nd and 10 now, and it's Palmer. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. The rookie from Michigan State, Malik McDowell. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Palmer gets him set. 3rd and long for the Cardinals after the sack. One last shot for Palmer. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Seahawks, the train just keeps rolling. 9-0 now to start this campaign. And they'll get the weekend off now as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Arizona, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say good night, everybody.